we are on the road and headed home this morning. Long trip home. I think it's like 8.5 hours. So we are excited. We actually rerouted. It might take us a little bit longer, but the last 30 miles of the trip down here was just a 2-lane backcountry road. Like, it was like forestry on either side, and I was getting sick. I was not feeling good, and I mean, it was 50 miles. It was a long trek through those woods, and like, we lost service for a real long time. It was beautiful scenery, but we routed to go back home. But like, I mean, the scenery is beautiful. Headed down here, like, if I could get it, those beautiful mountains. It is just absolutely beautiful down here. And the leaves are changing colors. It's just beautiful. But HOA was absolutely wonderful. We had the best time, and we learned so much. We met everybody. They were just great. I went a little crazy. I went fangirl on Jess when we got there. We walked down, and I heard her laugh. And you know, if you watch her videos, just she has her own little laugh, and like, warms your heart. And I saw her, and I was like, I'm not gonna cry, and I did. I started bawling. And I like threw my arms out, and I was like, can I hug you? And I gave her a hug, and she's like, yeah. And I had gotten a card, and I gave her this beautiful card, and Dylan and Maya broke the ice. It like, it kind of helped the situation because I was bawling mess, emotional. I was just super excited. And so we stood and talked to them for a while, and they're just awesome. Like, I mean, what you see on camera is really how they are. Beautiful, down to earth, just amazing. And we met the Stivers. They're great. They actually don't live really far from us, like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours south of us. And they've got an event coming up next month. I actually think it's in a couple of weeks. I need to look into that. That we are going to talk about maybe going to. We'll just have to see what our schedules are. But they were just awesome and sweet. And we met the Hollars. Dylan was funny. Dylan saw the Hollars before I did. And I was standing in line to get something to eat, and he was like, hey, those people that live in a camper in North Carolina are here. And then I got there, and he was like, look, yeah, there's the Hollars. And so we stood and talked to Meg and Ben for a little bit. We cracked jokes, because like, the way that I spell my name is different than the way that she spells hers. But there's a lady running a food truck, and she spells her name the way that I do, and we were like, yes, we're name buddies. Because not many people spell it like we do. What else? When we were standing there talking to Jess and Maya, they had said that there was a couple that was not far from us, that they met in Indiana. And Maya actually took down Dylan's phone number to message him if he saw him again. And then we were standing in line to get the 200 subscribers gift. Excited about that one. A beautiful gift for you guys. But we were standing there, and this couple was standing behind us, and the Stivers came up, and the Stivers were talking to him about coming. And we were listening, and we're like, hey, where are you guys from? And they're not far from us, and they actually have a YouTube channel. I'll leave a link to them down below in the description. This description is going to be full of a whole bunch of information. But they are Bumblin Acres, and so you might want to go check them out. They're new to YouTube, but they are sweet, down-to-earth people. We really enjoyed talking to them. We'll probably get together with them since they're not far from us. We met Jill, and we talked to Jill, took pictures, and like, she knew who we were. I was like so excited. And she was like, oh yeah, I showed your picture, and we talked to her for a little bit. And then Doug and Stacy, we met Doug and Stacy, and Doug is like really tall. He's really tall, and Stacy was great. Stacy, we stood and talked to her for a little bit, but she talked about a new thing on the first day about taking cold showers and dry brushing, which was really interesting. And then the second day, there was a guy, I think I will share his link down below. I'll need to look up what his name was, but everybody nicknamed him Cold Shower Guy. And like, I mean, it was laughter. up and you brush towards your heart with like a soft bristle brush, and you do it in the nude because lots of jokes were cracked about it. And she talked about going barefoot and just earthing, or what's the other thing that's called? Grounding. Sorry, it's morning, but it's called grounding, and you walk barefoot, and like it just helps with the waves in your body system and helps connection to the earth and getting the correct amount of sunlight, and how important it is. And then taking a cold shower. So Stacy talked about how taking a cold shower is really good for your body. And I mean, she like went on and on about how awesome it is and all the benefits that there are. And this guy, and she talked about taking an Epsom salt foot soak before you go to bed, and then take a cold shower. And so this gentleman did this, and then on the second day he was just amazed by how well he slept. And they brought him up on stage, and he was like, well, this is like nerve-wracking. But he talked about how good it was to take a cold shower and the benefits that he got from it. So that was really neat. And then walking around, we met to Family Homestead, and we were on their live stream actually. What was it, like 3 hours in, I think. I was kind of nervous. I was a little nervous doing that. And then we got to meet Constance from over at Cosmopolitan Cornbread. She was standing there, and I was like, I think I know who this is. And I walked up to her, and we had a really good conversation with her. She was great. And we actually talked to her for a good while. She's from down in Alabama, and my dad was standing there talking. My dad, my whole life, has been a big Alabama fan. And he lived in Alabama for a short while, and so they got to talking about the area, and she actually did a video for her channel, introducing our channel to her channel, which was really, really neat. But she was just a beautiful person, great to meet, hope to meet again. And then when we were standing there, my brain is like, my brain's a crazy mess of everything that like we took in. But we also got to meet, and we didn't take pictures with him. He was really like nerve-wracking. But was it sorry, I'm sorry, Joey. I can't even. Joey and Rory, they're country singers, and his wife passed away from cancer a year or two ago. And then they have a little girl, Indiana, and she has Down syndrome. But his story is just beautiful and just heart-touching. But we got to meet him and shake his hand and talk to him. But he was nerve-wracking because he had like a whole camera crew behind him. And like when you stood and talked to him, they dropped like a TV microphone over the top of you that hovered. But it was really neat to meet him and to watch Indy run around and like pet the animals and see the little animals. It's just really sweet. So that was really, really neat. And then it was just beautiful and sweet. But we also walked around, and before we left, we had hit 150 subscribers, and we were really excited about it. And we were thinking about doing a giveaway, and I wanted it to be something special and something really cool. And so we talked about it, and we decided to do a giveaway from something from HOA. So when we were walking around, where'd the card go? Well, I've lost the card. But I'll put a link down below. I want to say it was Riverwood something. I will put a link down below. I'm sorry. But look at this beautiful spoon. So this is the giveaway prize. And it's a big spoon. Like, here's my head. But it is beautiful. It's so soft and silky and just like beautiful spoon. So this is our giveaway for 150 subscribers. And to enter to win this, as you continue on in this video, you will find that we are going to be doing a new adventure in learning something and growing something that we're really excited about trying. So stay tuned for that little nugget to enter to win this, and just drop a comment down below what it is, and we'll throw you in the pot to plates. Like, their work was really, really pretty. And we stood there for a little bit and watched him do work and create little spoons and things. It was really neat to watch and see. Ooh.
Yeah, I kind of just wanted to talk about the classes and the speakers that we got to watch and learn and see talk. I thought it was inspirational, unbelievable, that when we first got there, through the second day, how everybody, it just felt like family, you know, just down-to-earth people, and how you can relate to each and every one of them somehow, and they're just a breed all their own, and it was really exciting to discuss ideas and beliefs and exchange knowledge and experiences. And I have to say it really moved me quite a bit. I was just so excited and thrilled to learn again so many new aspects of gardening projects and things that you can accomplish. Yesterday, one of the speakers were Jess and Maya. I really enjoyed listening to Jess and her heirlooms she was talking about, but just an overall encouragement, inspiration for not only us, the Wolterman Homestead, but also encouraging everyone out there that thinks that they can't do it, or somehow they can't seem to get out of the rut wanting to do a garden or raised bed or something along those lines. But you know, it's okay to fail. You know, it's okay to try and fail. It's important to do that, because in the long term, it's going to make you stronger, it's going to make you better. And believe me, we've tried and failed many times, but that is what I loved about what Maya was saying, that also that, you know, just try to better yourself, keep grit every day to accomplish your goals, not only with gardening, with projects, but just in life itself. And so, you know, that's why I also want to encourage anybody that's watching our videos as well, that you can do it. It's amazing. It's an awesome way of life, a great hobby to not only give your kids a new skill set to continue on for generation after generation, and me and Megan feel that is huge and crucial for our kids, because I really highly strongly feel that it's getting less in the world, and so for us to keep doing that, teaching our kids the fundamentals, skill sets to grow our own food, to do things themselves, and learn how to do that is just vitally important. But again, just want to say, you guys can do it. I mean, it is not impossible. And the feeling and accomplishment of getting something done after you, from start to finish, is just unbelievable. So, love you guys, and
as he was talking about Jess and Maya, Maya had mentioned, which made me kind of feel better, that when they went to California a couple months ago, or I guess that was last month, when they went to California last month for the Baker Creek Expo, that Jess fangirled and cried and kind of reacted the way that I did towards her, to, I want to say, the Wild Boar Farms guy. Even though they're friends and they talk a lot, and that like just made me feel a lot better. But Jess talked a lot on, and even even Rebekah Rhodes talked about journaling and journaling to your future self and writing down your goals and your aspirations and the things that you look forward to and want to do, and that you don't have to take it all on the first day. You know, you don't have to go out and buy 1,000 acres, you know, and do everything in one day. You know, you start small. You plant one plant and go from there. And it doesn't have to be huge. And I'm going to share the view in front of me because it's beautiful. Look at that. The smoke coming off the mountain. I guess the fog. Sorry, squirrel. But we just had an amazing time, amazing trip. Walking around, we saw and met a guy. We actually talked to him for a really good while. My dad and stepmom would like to get some sort of animal. They thought about doing chickens, but for them, chickens require space and, you know, constant care of going out and just like, you know, making sure they have the things that they need, and to be protected at all times. And then this guy talks about quail and how he has a larger building and he keeps his quails in cages in the building, and how quail produce eggs in about 6 weeks from hatching, and so that they produce really quickly, and that their eggs are more nutrients and more just power packed than chicken eggs. And I want to say it was like 3 or 4 chicken eggs, it's equal to 1 quail egg, I think is what he had said, which is like really crazy. And how a lot of restaurants and farmers markets and things, they like quail eggs, and it's like kind of like a delicacy, but that they really like it compared to regular eggs, and that you can start small and, you know, sell at farmers markets. What? The view? Yeah, you're staying on this. You're right. But the view. Now I got looking. Sorry, I'm like real distracted over here to these mountains. It's beautiful. Indiana's flat corn. And dying trees. And dying trees. We don't have color. We have had frost. I did get notified of that by a family member. They were like, "Do we need to do anything to your garden?" So we have had our frost. So we're curious to see what we're coming back to. But back to what I was saying about the quail. So we talked about it, and we might look into maybe getting some quail, because that was pretty neat. And what he had to talk about. I'll leave a link for him down below. I want to say it was Homestead Evolution was his channel, and I think his name was AJ. But that was really neat, standing there and talking to him about quail and how he keeps them in these really nice cages, and how he has a tray that's underneath of them, and it just collects their waste. Because they're small birds, you don't want to have them running around because they get in their waste really quickly. So, I mean, it was just really neat talking to him. Walking around, we also ran into this guy from New England, and he was really, really neat to stand and talk to. Dylan actually asked him, he grows mushrooms, and Dylan asked him, "What got you into growing mushrooms?" And he said, "Well, I used to be an IT guy, and I had one test left to get this other certification for my IT, and I was in a really bad car accident, and I actually went through the windshield in the car accident." And he said when he woke up, like, he didn't really remember things, and like he was laid up for an entire year due to that accident. And when he finally went back to take his IT test, he couldn't remember anything at all. And so he went to regular medicine, and nobody could really help him. And so he went back to just holistic natural medicine, and he had a Russian doctor who told him about lion's mane mushrooms, and how they help with your immunity, and they help with so many different things in the body, and that he should try eating these mushrooms. And so he found a place that sold these mushrooms, and he used them for a while, but then, you know, stores changed their product, their produce, and so he went back and they didn't have it anymore, and so he didn't take it for a while. And then when he went back to the doctor said, "Well, why aren't you taking the mushrooms anymore?" And he said, "Well, I can't find them anymore." And the doctor said, "Well, why don't you try growing them yourself?" And he was like, we were like, oh yeah, we gotta clean the windshield, and then we'd stop, we'd get in the car and hit the road again, and like we were like, oh man, forgot to clean the windshield. But yeah, we cleaned the windshield before we left, so it was a joke between us on the way down here. But look, so beautiful. But we'll probably end it here and just enjoy the rest of our trip. We wanted to say thanks for joining us on our trip to HOA. It was definitely a fun experience, and we'll definitely come again. And I mean, again, you don't have to be a homesteader to come to one of these things. You don't have to have a membership to come to one of these. So maybe next year, check it out and see, because it's really been really neat, really cool, lots of learning.
And yeah, Homesteaders of America, first year was absolutely incredible. Can't wait to go back next year and create more memories. And again, for all you folk out there, start gardening and enjoy life.
Yes. Thanks for joining us on our road trip and this adventure.